Action RPG is a very loosely used term to describe many different types of games, from The Secret of Mana and Star Ocean to Dark Souls and Borderlands, of which I'm sure we can all agree are very different titles. And although this phrase is used to describe many different games, there are a few that impact the gaming world to such a degree that they become a subset genre unto themselves. Diablo is such a game. This tale of bile and brimstone doesn't originate from an era when Diablo's minions walked the earth. It comes from a time when they roamed one dungeon beneath one cursed cathedral in the unfortunate town of Tristram, a town with a dreadful tale to tell. The narrative of Diablo loosely plays with theology and Catholicism. There are demons, angels, and influences plucked straight from biblical depictions, but overall this is a fantasy world with fictional credences. Fiction such as strange and demonic occurrences that have been emerging from the treacherous depths of Tristram's underbelly in a story that follows suit, but from one playthrough to the next, those happenings can vary. For instance, in one playthrough you may face off with the carnage-lusted demon, the Butcher, but in another playthrough, you may never encounter the fiend. Instead, you may be attempting to cure Tristram of a tainted water supply.
Fresh meat.
These quests and the narrative are revealed through tomes and the different characters found in the bowels of the dungeon or from the topside townspeople of Tristram. Every encounter is fully voiced with a meaningful delivery to bring life to the dreariness of the melancholic atmosphere.
Please, no hurt, no kill. Keep alive, and next time good bring to you.
It's a pleasure to place yourself in the lore of Diablo, but before you start your journey to uncover the plight between heaven, hell, and mankind, you're gonna need to create a hero. There are 3 traditional preset classes in Diablo: the Rogue, the Warrior, and the Sorcerer. Each class is individualized by attribute points, equipment, and a unique ability. For unique abilities, the Warrior can repair equipment, the Rogue can disarm traps, and the Sorcerer can recharge magical staves. Beyond the unique ability and the initial stat differences, the classes are pretty much the same, meaning any class can learn any spell in the game or equip any piece of gear as long as they have the required attribute points. Most will look at this in one of 2 ways. The ability to cast any spell or don any piece of gear will most likely leave you feeling like you're very unrestricted, or to a certain degree, it'll make you feel as though it falls into a formula wherein all the created characters are relatively similar to one another. Either way, it didn't stop me from making several different classes to put the combat to the test. The combat in Diablo is very simple. It's comprised of weapon strikes and casting spells. Really? That's it. It's brilliant in a minimalistic way, but a wide range of enemies bring a certain level of complexity to the experience. And that experience continuously rewards you for hacking up Hellspawn to send them plummeting back to the fires of perdition from whence they came. The time spent exploring the randomly generated maps and dispatching demons is when the character progression is achieved through leveling up, allocating stat points, and equipping new gear. The allure of becoming an increasingly more powerful demon slayer creates an almost narcotic-inducing compulsion to rid the realm of Sanctuary from the unrelenting forces of the Lord of Terror.
The warmth of life has entered my tomb. Prepare yourself, mortal, to serve my master for eternity.
Diablo still holds an endearing relevance to gaming, even though it comes from a different time. A time when it was more of a dungeon crawler, less of a loot hunt, but definitely an unquestionable dark medieval fantasy experience with atmosphere and music to match. Diablo's ensemble from presentation, lore, and atmosphere to progression, combat, and addictive gameplay makes it one of the greatest games of all time. An aspect made indelible by the fact that Diablo is not a game defined by genre. Instead, it's a game that created one.
Yep, that's a cow, all right. I'm not thirsty.